This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Car sales in the U.S. remain fairly weak, but the industry is making incremental progress. Ward's Intelligence reports that automakers sold 1.13 million vehicles in July, which is down nearly 12% compared to a year ago, but is flat compared to last month. The seasonally adjusted annual rate, or SAAR, was a pretty dismal 13.4 million units. That's more than a million units less than last July, but a slight improvement from June, which had a 13 million SAAR. Car sales remain weak because of low inventory levels, but Ward says there's enough pent-up demand to hit a 16 to 17 million unit SAAR. And here's a bright spot for consumers. According to TrueCar, incentive spending increased slightly in July to $1,162. That's the first time since December of 2020 there was a month-to-month boost in incentives. BMW reported its first half earnings, and the results are pretty solid. The automaker sold 1.16 million vehicles in the first half of the year, including Mini and Rolls-Royce, which is down 13.4% compared to last year. BMW blames the chip shortage and supply chain disruptions caused by COVID lockdowns in China for the sales drop. But there was one bright spot for BMW: electric vehicles. It sold nearly 76,000 BEVs, which is more than double compared to last year. And despite posting overall weaker sales, its revenue hit nearly 66 billion euros, a gain of nearly 20% over last year. And its net profit of 13.2 billion euros is up a whopping 73%. But BMW expects the second half of the year to remain volatile and says supply chain issues will continue, and as a result, sales will likely be lower than last year. Ferrari also had a great first half of the year thanks to a strong second quarter. It sold 6,706 vehicles in the first 6 months of the year, a gain of 23% compared to a year ago. That brought in 2.5 billion euros in revenue, which is up 21%, and its net profit increased 19% to 490 million euros. Ferrari expects to have a good second half of the year, and it's raising all of its full-year targets because of the strong first half results.
At Schaeffler, we pioneer motion. Electrifying mobility, manufacturing smarter, reducing CO2 emissions, making energy production clean. Schaeffler pioneers motion to advance how the world moves.
We want to know what drives your testing. OTA, connected car, diagnostics, remote testing. Intrepid Control Systems is here to help you work from anywhere. Intrepid Control Systems, driven by your data.
While most automakers are rushing to come out with electric vehicles and have pledged to switch to an EV-only lineup, Lamborghini isn't in any hurry. During a recent reporter roundtable, the CEO of Lamborghini, Stephen Winkelmann, said, "We don't need to decide now," when asked when the company will transition to an electric-only lineup. He said they have at least a few years to decide because EV legislation could still change in the years to come. Its first EV isn't scheduled to come out until 2030, and in the meantime, it will launch its first hybrids in 2024. But customers don't seem to mind its lack of electrics. Last year, Lamborghini set a sales record of 8,405 vehicles globally. Mazda says the new CX-50 is the first vehicle it's ever designed exclusively for the North American market. And in a recent test of the vehicle, we felt like that was reflected in the look and driving style of the CX-50. Now that Americanness is being applied to its trim packages. The CX-50 Meridian comes standard with a 2.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired with all-wheel drive, as well as unique 18-inch wheels and Falcon all-season tires. Options for a roof rack, rocker and headlight garnish, front and rear splash guards, and a black hood graphic also add to its off-road look. The CX-50 Meridian goes on sale this fall with a price of a little more than $41,000, including destination charges. Ford is making it look like it's on the right track with the F-150 Lightning. The automaker started delivering the electric truck to customers in the U.S. 2 months ago and says there's now a Lightning in all 50 states. This is good news for the company, but we'll be waiting to see if it can hit both quantity and quality targets with the Lightning. Speaking of trucks, first Chevy revealed its all-new midsize pickup, the Colorado. Soon it will be GMC's turn. The brand teased the New Canyon, which will debut on August 11th. This is the AT4X trim package, which includes a factory suspension lift and shows off the new face of the truck. But no word yet when the New Canyon will be available.
The future of Michigan is extraordinarily bright. We have such incredible assets, and I think more and more we're realizing how to put those together in a way that's going to help this state really help lead the nation as we go forward.
With global reach across 3 continents, Teijin Automotive Technologies make vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Here's a follow-up to a story we ran on the 1st of last month. That's when news dropped that GM would offer a reimbursement to customers who bought a new Bolt or Bolt EUV this year before a $6,000 price cut was announced. Most of them will get about $5,000, and it applies to all new models, even if it's a 2020, 2021, or 2022 model year. But there's a caveat. Owners that agree to the refund must promise never to sue the company over the Bolt's battery problems or the subsequent recall. So, what would you do? Take the money and run, or tell them to shove it where the sun don't shine? In other GM news, it's once again doubling the amount of roads that its hands-free Super Cruise system will operate on. It currently sits at 200,000 miles, but later this year, that will jump to 400,000 miles of roads in the US and Canada. It also expands to non-divided highways, which it wouldn't do before. The update will be available on all newly built vehicles with Super Cruise capability and will then roll out as an OTA update to existing customers. However, the full update is only compatible with vehicles that operate on GM's new electrical architecture, which excludes vehicles like the Cadillac CT6 and XT6 and the Chevy Bolt EUV. But by the end of next year, GM will have 22 models that offer Super Cruise. And that's the end of today's show. Thanks for joining us.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering, boost your game. Scheffler, we pioneer motion. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by the Michigan Economic Development Corporation.